Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and we're working on some follies using layering technique, and we're going to fill in the negative space. I go over this step by step, so don't worry about it. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment section. Also, uh, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have ad-free videos, traceables, reference material, exclusive tutorials on Thursdays, and a live stream once a month on my top tier, which I'll actually be doing this Thursday. Also, please hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial's up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to check out my Patreon, check it out up here. Boop. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, guys, I'm going to go over my supplies. I have a piece of Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper. It's a 7 by 10 inch piece. Paper towels, paints. I'm working with a couple of brushes. I have my Princeton number 10 Neptune series and probably number 6. I don't know if I'll use the 8, but probably maybe throw all 3 of these. Who knows? My water jars are up here. Basically, you just download some like leaves from the internet. I have a oak leaf, maple leaf, another kind of oak leaf right here. And then you just kind of like draw the silhouette. And I drew a silhouette of a maple leaf here, then I did an oak leaf kind of here, or kind of another fall leaf here and here. And we'll just start off painting like a couple of leaves, and then we're going to layer on top of the leaves itself. It's like a layering technique. It's kind of fun to do. So you do something that's a little more serious, and you layer another one on top of another one. It's kind of fun. So for the maple leaf, you can make it brown, or red, or yellow, orange. I'm going to grab some magenta right here. A little of this yellow. It's cadmium yellow deep. And a little bit of this burnt umber. And I might grab a little more yellow. There we go. So really nice, pretty orange. Let's also mix some other colors here. So let's get the yellow going here. Cadmium yellow deep. I'll add a little burnt umber to that. We'll have the burnt umber out here itself. It's always good to have a bunch of colors going. Mix up some green. So I've got some peacock blue, mix a nice bright green with yellow. I like to mix my greens. Just get another more yellow in there. More yellow. Okay. You can make it darker if you wanted to add some Prussian blue, burnt umber, and you got a deeper green. More Prussian blue. See that? Much darker. And same thing with the brown. If you want to get that burnt umber here, but add some burnt umber up here. I'm going to add actually some black gouache to that. Make it a deeper brown. Look at that. All right. So we're just going to take our brush, and we have an outline of the maple leaf. I'm just going to fill that in kind of quickly. See, there's a little water here, but I can use the tip on this. If you have no control because the brush is too big, use a smaller brush. See, I'm just going to go fill this in. You can start off by just using some water and then just kind of washing in some paint. Just going to fill this in. And I'll show you. You can actually start to put a little bit of yellow in there, mix in some other colors. A little magenta. Get a little redder. See, I'm adding some more red, a little bit of brown, right in there. Going back to the color I had, a little more orange. I like to mix the color up. Okay, I'm just going to grab some water. Just going to fill this in, and like I said, bleeding in different colors. So if you want to just add water to this part, see, I'm kind of just pushing the paint around. That was really wet. You can see it's very shiny because it's wet. And a little trick is you can add some much deeper colors to just the tips or the edges of the leaf. So I have this flat color here. I'm going to grab some concentrated burnt umber, maybe mix a little black. Just kind of bleed it in on the edges here. See that? It's really wet, so it's going to bleed more. Grab some of that dark brown, or you can make some more dark orange. just like that. It's pretty wet. You can even go and just grab some yellow, throw some of that yellow in. All right, so we've got like an orangey brown kind of leaf. We got the oak leaf here. You can make it whatever color you want. I'm gonna probably play around with making it more of a golden yellow. So you fill that in. Still using this brush. Obviously it's, you know, not everybody can have control using a bigger brush. If you're having difficulty, like I said, switch to a smaller brush. Take your time. You do want to kind of move fast because this paint will soak up into the paper and then you can't really bleed the colors. So I'll just put this wash of color down on the oak leaf. See, it's kind of like a flat orange yellow kind of color. I think actually more yellow actually. Can bleed in a little bit of green. You know. Don't be afraid to add some color. A little bit of brown, a little bit of green. Just doing it to the edges of the actual leaf. So we're just getting a start here with just a few leaves. And then I'm going to talk about layering. So I've got those two leaves. And then just like do like a basic kind of, just a regular kind of leaf. Maybe I'll make this one a little cranberry kind of color. So I got more magenta that I added to that orange that I made. Add a little Prussian blue. Again, that, whoop, too much. Looks like wine, right? So add more magenta, a little bit of yellow. Let's go like cranberry kind of color. Yeah, see, playing around with this color here. And actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll just, this one's, yeah, maybe I'll do, I could do a green one. You know, you can do a brown one. Maybe I'll do a brown one. So do burnt umber. I switched my, I changed my mind. So a basic, let's get a little red on my brush still. Just your basic, see, you just do your basic leaf. Side like this. Kind of connect them to the stem. Now, there's a little trick to have the little jagged edges because it just looks kind of flat. I'm just turning it around here to make it easier. Zoom in and show you with the brush. You're just going to take the brush, kind of push out the paint. See? Pushing out the paint to get those jagged edges. Push it out. Going downward. Like that. And then you got the jagged edges. Makes your life a lot easier. You can kind of bleed in some deeper, darker color. Looks like a black brown. That's a little too black. I have to clean up my brush. I didn't want that to be that dark. But it just ended up being that way. And I'll put the stem. I don't mind it. It's fine. See? Oh, we got, oops, 3 leaves. The stem on this one. Now, this is still wet. So I'm going to work on some leaves out here. Again, I'm going to grab more yellow and do another yellow leaf here. Just like we did with the brown one with the little edges. And just kind of push it out. And you get those little rough edges. Now while it's still damp, it's just a plain old yellow flat color. Again, bleed in some color to it. Just take a little bit of red. You can add a little green. A little burnt brown. You know, some of those leaves have all different colors going on them. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. I'm adding all these little colors. So now we have to wait till all these dry to do anything else. Because we want to do another leaf behind here and other things and add the veins and whatnot. So while it's still wet, we can't do that. This feels, no, it's still damp. So we gotta wait till it dries and we'll come back in and we'll do all that other stuff, another layer and some detail. All right, so it's a bit dry. I'm going to add another leaf up here, a little more on the orange side. So I have some brilliant orange here. I'm mixing with my yellow, a little bright orange. Got a lot of yellows, some more red, browns. I need some orange. So I'm going to put that orange color. Again, I'll bleed in some other colors too. So mostly orange. Just like that. Notice how I'm not painting the whole thing orange. I'm leaving some spaces kind of blank and I'm putting the orange in. I'll clean up my brush, right? And I'll add some water to those areas that I didn't paint. See how it's kind of bleeding in here, but it's still kind of almost clear. And then I'm going to do some bleed in some colors into that section. So I can grab some brown, some green, some browns, a little bit of that red, and some more orange again, some more red. Just playing around with adding some more color. And again, we'll have to wait till this one dries. I'm gonna add a little red to the sides here. And the stem, voila. Kind of messy, but I like it that way. So while that's drying, we can start to play around with these guys again. So we're going to take the small brush, number 6, and we'll do some veins. So obviously it's like a red brown. You're going to do this, take the burnt umber, add a little cranberry color to that, and then make the veins, right? It will be a much darker tone. For the brown, see the veins, just like a line curving in these ones, just like so. Really simple. You don't have to get too crazy with it. Maybe a little bit darker. Get even little tinier veins from there. If you want to get really technical, you don't have to. And then for the yellow, it's like a nice deep yellow orange kind of color. Again, the veins, just like we did with the other ones. Okay, so when those dry, maybe get this a little bit darker with some brown, so you can't really see it, right? Oop, and that's too dark. So it's gonna have a happy medium, a little bit light brown. The veins a little wet there, so it's kind of bleeding. That's okay. All right, so once you get that all done, we'll have to wait till that dries, and then we can do some layering. All right, once that layer is done, and you've got your little veins in there, then we're gonna do another layer on top of that. So I just drew like another oak leaf over here. Since we have like the red, I'm gonna do some more like orange. So I'm gonna make some brilliant orange. This is orange, but it's kind of, everything's kind of looking brown, so I need some bright colors back in here. So I'm gonna water this orange down. I'm gonna add another pretty little oak leaf, and then just gonna go right on top of the leaves we made. And the stem. Get a little layering going here on this one and that one. Kind of fun. And then we can do the type of, this is an easy one to layer, this one right here. Take the same orange, a little bit more yellow. You want to just turn your paper around like this, and then we can add another leaf here, going over on top of what we painted here. And the stem, we do the little push out, get that jagged edge And then if you want to add, bleed in a little color, you can do that. You see how the colors get a little bit darker when you go on top of each other? Same thing here. I mean, probably because the color wasn't dark enough. Maybe if I made it, this one's lighter and then the one on top was darker. So here we go, like take the cranberry color, like the reddish brown color. Add some red and some brown. And we'll do another one of those leaves kind of crossing over here. Can be skinny. Right on top of that one. Don't be afraid to play around, guys. Now that one's a little bit darker, so it didn't really do the bleed as much. Maybe one of the lighter yellow. So I'll take the light yellow. It's looking more orange again. Gotta get real yellow. It's a cadmium yellow deep. And a touch of burn umber. So it's like a golden yellow. I'm gonna put one of those. Kind of a silly kind of oak leaf. So we're just gonna go like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right there. And on those leaves too, you can either bleed in or don't. This is pretty wet. This one's kind of a goofy leaf. Just keep doing that. And go back in. If you want to bleed the colors, you can kind of bleed them into on the edges here. You don't have to. And a little brown. Keep playing with that. So you're gonna let that layer dry, and you're gonna do another layer. It's all like a bunch of things on top of each other, and it's just gonna create like this fun, like, you know, falling leaf on top of each other kind of thing. And then if you wanted to do, you can go in between the layering, and you can paint like deep green or black. So what I mean by that is, I'll just show you a small area. So we got that green. Then we created dark green. A little more yellow here. Just go right around those leaves that we painted. I'm using the number 6 brush. Fill that in. Right? And start to grab some lighter green. Kind of fill that in. The space, the negative space. Right? It can get even darker. I grab some black brown back here. Go right in here. I might want to wait till that's dry. I don't know if mine's so dry. I'm just painting around the negative space. Complete a little black here. That green. See how it just changes? Right on the edges of the leaf. And it's just going to pop out that leaf. Just got a little green. I'm adding a little black. That space. Right? And then now that green is popping out. Now you can grab, again, the light green in between. It's a little too wet. I'm adding some darker green. Some blacky kind of color. Or even brown. See? Right in between there. This one's bleeding a little too much. Get right in there. It's just, you're painting the negative space. You can get it even darker, like I said. Putting some more black right on the edge. The leaves. And they're going to just stand out more. See that? Pops. Just pops. So, what you're going to do, you're going to keep continuing adding in some of the veins with the different colors, you know, we talked about. That kind of washed out that orange. You can just go back in and add some more color if you want. You can when it's dry. I don't know if you know this, guys. Just take some clear water and go right up what you painted. And you can go right back in. Be careful because that's wet right here. Grab some more orange. And you can bleed in the color. Right on top of the picture that you just did. You can do that. Yes, you can. See how I just did that? See how tricky I am? Huh? Right? See? This one's still a little damp, so I can go and add some deeper tones. So that stopped right there. I grab some water and I just kind of push it around. Adding in a little deeper reds. Maybe a little hint of green. Right? And then I let that dry. And we can play around. So this is how you keep doing layers. I'm going to add maybe a few more leaves in here. And then we'll talk about the negative space again. And then we'll be done. So like I said, once you get all your leaves, I added a bunch more leaves. You just keep adding leaves as many as you want. Then you're going to go in here with the green. See this nice bright, pretty green. Just fill in those negative spaces. Right? And then you can just take some of that dark green and bleed that right next to that. And even like I showed you before, grab a little bit dark, like black or even blue. Get right next to those leaves. Just kind of punch them out with dark color. Just go right in here. You can just put the green, dark green if you want to right in here. You don't even have to put the light green at all. And just kind of fill in this section. I'm adding some of that light green. I'm adding a little dark green. Just fill it in. You don't have to fill it in everywhere. I mean, I'm just going to fill it in some places. Mixing up some more green. Just filling that in. Get some more dark green. And blue. So I'll fill it up in some areas, not every area. You just figure out how much of the negative space you want to paint. You might want to paint all of it, or just some of it, you know. I think I might just do like this section, and not do the whole section. Just play around with it. See? Just grab a little black, a little green, and it's going to really highlight that yellow leaf. Or you could put like another bright fall color in behind it. You know, you choose whatever works for you. Like I said, mix the green, some lighter green, some darker green. You can actually bleed in some yellow. I'm going to grab some of this yellow orange. Don't be afraid, guys. Play around. See? I'm going to add some of this orange color. Just right on with the green. Playing around with the color. Painting in that negative space. Right? Just keep playing around with it. Fill it all in. So I'm not going to bore you with me filling this all in. I'll show you what I finished. Okay, so you see I kind of filled it all in. And I'm just going to grab some more light green here, yellow. And I'm just going to wash in just a little bit here and kind of blend it out and not finish the whole thing with the colors. Just this section. Maybe here I'll add more green and then call it a day. See? Just going in here and bleeding in more color. Just like that. And then so it's going to have a hard edge. So you clean off your brush, tap on the paper towel, and you kind of just push this paint down, kind of soften it. And there you go. And that's that. Falling leaves. So if you have any questions, guys, just leave them in the comment section. You know, just download some like vector images and trace them from the internet. That's what I did. It's just simple. Actually, I didn't really trace some of these. I just kind of freehanded some of them. And just take your time bleeding in the color and then go ahead and paint and do the background. So take care, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you haven't hit the bell notification button, please do so to know when my tutorials are up. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.